Hi, my name is Tara Killingbeck, and we will be talking about hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. We'll be talking about the etiology of this disease, what cells and organs are affected by this disease, as well as what systems of the body are affected. We'll be talking about the signs and symptoms of this disease, prevention and treatments, as well as long-term and short-term complications of hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, also known as HCM. So hypertrophic cardiomyopathy is a heart mutation that causes the myocardium, or the heart muscle, to thicken and harden, which will eventually obstruct the blood flow in the heart. This affects 1.5 million Americans each year, mainly caused by a hereditary genetic mutation. Other possible causes can be infection of the heart, diabetes, chronic high blood pressure. Sometimes people get it when they're aging, and sometimes people just don't know why they got it. The cells of the heart are probably the most affected, and that is the cells of the myocardium, which is the muscle of the heart. This becomes mutated, and it does not allow new cells to grow. So there's some kind of cell in the body saying, no, we don't want you to grow, so it just keeps building up, which makes it thicker. It also affects the tissue of the heart. Hypertrophic cardiomyopathy is usually classified if the heart muscle is 15 millimeters or more, where normal heart is 12 millimeters or less. The septum, which is the wall that separates the right and left chambers, that can also become thickened. The blood vessels in the lungs, can become inadequate because they do not receive enough blood to be oxygenated and to provide life to those vessels. This here is a picture of a normal heart and a hypertrophic cardiomyopathy heart. You can see here that the septum in the middle, that is significantly thickened from what a normal heart is. And then also you can see that the left ventricle wall is thickened, which makes the left ventricle a lot smaller than a normal heart. So systems that are affected is the electrical system within the heart, which that's where our rhythms come from, how our heart beats, all of that stuff. There can be lethal heart disturbances. There can also be tachycardia, which means that your heart has too fast of a beat. You can probably have bradycardia, which means that it's too low of a beat. Palpitations, that's where your heart is palpitating. This also affects the circulatory system, which means that since it's leaving the left ventricle, that's where our oxygenated blood goes back into our lungs. So when it goes back into our body, a lot of the times it's not coming out as efficient as it should, so that can reduce our oxygen levels in our body. Signs and symptoms. So you can have shortness of breath, chest pain, fainting, lightheadedness, heart palpitations, heart murmur, which is usually how you find out if you have the condition, high blood pressure, arrhythmias, and one of the biggest factors, and which makes this one of a dangerous disease, is sudden death. Because a lot of people do not know that they have these, because some people don't have symptoms at all for the rest of their whole entire lives, and then all of a sudden they have sudden death, which means your heart just stops. And these conditions, they can worsen, and they're usually worse during exercise or exertion. Prevention, there is no known prevention for this disease, but it's usually a hereditary genetic mutation. So yeah, there's no way to really prevent it, but you can try to keep your body healthy, which will make your heart healthy. Genetic testing is recommended, so if someone in your family gets diagnosed with this condition, it is recommended that the family goes and gets checked too for the condition. Doctors recommend that you do not participate in vigorous or competitive sports because you are more prone to sudden death. Yeah, and you can keep yourself from sudden death by eating healthy and living a heart-healthy lifestyle, which basically means exercising. I know you can't do vigorous, but you should be exercising. It's great for your heart and your blood pressure. Treatments, medications are the most prescribed, beta blockers and calcium channel blockers. There's blood thinners to help it so the blood can flow more easily through the heart passages. And then also a lot of people that have cardiomyopathy get a defibrillator or implantable pacemaker, which is a little machine that sends leads into your heart, and it can see what your rhythms are, and if your rhythms are bad, it will send a shock to your heart, or if your heart just suddenly stops, which is prone in this condition, it will start your heart back up from within inside your body. You can get alcohol ablations, which will help open up those areas of your heart. Some people, if needed, it's very rare, need heart transplants because their heart is very damaged. Lifestyle is a big treatment to relieve a lot of the symptoms. So regular exercise is good, healthy diet, not smoking cigarettes, stuff like that. And the short-term and long-term consequences. The shortness of breath is short-term, inability to exercise, heart palpitations, but these are things you're going to experience long-term too if you have this condition. Long-term, if not treated and not changing in lifestyle, and sometimes just how your heart is, can lead to weakened heart muscle. It can lead to sudden death and burned out, which means that you have a decreased LV systolic function, and your heart just, it gives out. In conclusion, this was my presentation on hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. And like I said, we went over the etiology, and this is a condition where your heart muscle is thickened. There's no known prevention. There are long-term and short-term symptoms. Sometimes people don't know they even have this condition. It goes undiagnosed for their whole entire lives. There are plenty of there's no prevention, but there are plenty of treatment options that will help people live a long and healthy lifestyle. And I just thank you for watching this presentation. If you have any questions at all, feel free to email me or let me know. Thank you so much.